Okay. Good morning. My name is Pam Wycliffe, and I'm a member of the Board of Trustees in this congregation. Welcome to everybody here. The Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Elkhart is a welcoming community, encouraging religious freedom, nurturing individual, spiritual, and ethical growth, celebrating diversity, and promoting a just and sustainable world. And I'm out of breath. If you'd like to learn more about this fellowship, look for our website at uufe.org and join us after the service for coffee hour and for our committee fair, which lets you know all the stuff, all the committees that we have and what they do, and if you'd be interested in being active on any of the committees. For the listening enjoyment of all, we ask that you at this time, please turn off your cell phones or your pagers. What's the difference? Also, if you need hearing support, please ask for help at the sound desk. Thank you very much.
Good morning. Yes, my name is Judy Darnell, and I'm here with the announcements. Pam already told you about the committee fair, which is top on my list, but I will also add that there will be no meditation today because of the committee fair, or next week because of potluck. Later today at 4 o'clock, Mary Adams and T.J. Sham will host the first $2 community euchre games. Everyone, members, friends, and not yet friends, are welcome to come play and visit. Science and Society will meet on Tuesday to view at the next installment of Your Best Brain, and we'll discuss it as well. The topics for this session will be on how the brain processes vision and emotions. Even if you haven't seen the previous episodes, you'll learn something, so please come. It's 2 o'clock on Tuesday in the gathering place. My fan club, I told them to pick up their colored pencils when I was speaking, so that's what they were doing and putting them away. On Thursday, yoga classes will meet at 6 o'clock, again in the gathering place. All are welcome. Then join the fun from 9 o'clock to noon on Saturday as the Building and Grounds Committee hosts Rock Around the Ramp as we prepare our grounds for Linda Arbogast's memorial service that afternoon. Refreshments will be provided. Memorial service for Linda a long-term member will begin at 3 o'clock with the scattering of her ashes in the memorial garden following the service. Last I knew, there was a sign-up sheet on Ivy Island for those who would like to help with refreshments and other things. So is that still?
I didn't bring it today.
Oh.
If somebody wants to volunteer for anything, we'll gladly help.
Okay. So give Dwight a call if you have something you want to, some way you want to give to that. UU Feasters, next Sunday is the Potluck Sunday, followed by a meeting of the Committee of the Whole in the Minister's office. All committee chairs are invited to attend and share their experiences with the committee fair. UU Feasters will be Wednesday, September 28th at 11:30 at Noodle Alley, which is at 2370 Miracle Lane in Mishawaka. RSVP with Mary Adams by Monday the 27th so that she can make reservations. Church Community Services Soup of Success program is now interviewing for their next class. Soup of Success is a 20-week empowerment program for women in Elkhart County that includes career counseling, education, support, and hands-on business training. It meets from Monday through Friday from 8:45 to 1:15, and they pay participants $11 an hour to participate, gain confidence, overcome obstacles, and get their lives back on track. The website to get more information is in red or pink on my announcements, which I'm going to be posting after the service up on the bulletin board by the restrooms. Jumping forward to next month, there will be a presentation on Thursday, October 6th from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. at the River Park branch of the St. Joseph County Library in South Bend. It is entitled, Can Democracy Work? Registration information is printed in blue on my notes, and which I will post up by the restrooms. Last Sunday, we had 39 people in attendance and a collection of $246 that went into our sustainability fund. which helps defray the costs of repairs and maintenance of our property. This week's contribution will be shared with the NAACP of Elkhart. Thank you very much, and I will collect my fan club and we will adjourn to the Sunday school room, AKA minister's office, meeting room, whatever.
Good morning again. My name's Mary Adams. It doesn't stay up. Okay, one little addition to Judy's note is that actually Linda Gill is helping to host the Euchre Club, although TJ is also, the three of us are doing it. Anyhow, my musing today, if it had a title, would be Keep the Baby and Not the Bathwater. Over the time that I've been attending here, since I came back from California, I've noticed a particular sensitivity to certain almost like trigger words here that I did not notice when I attended on the East Coast in Connecticut, nor in the California fellowships that I attended. And I puzzled about that, and then it kind of hit me. I was like, oh, Mary, you're so slow. But of course, there would be more trigger words here about Christianity because there are more wounded Christians here. And that's the predominant group that are now part of this particular fellowship. Although there may be some that have always been Unitarian, and there may be some that were always atheist. I don't think we have as many other kinds of faith traditions. But what I wanted to do was to encourage you to go back in your minds to see what kinds of things actually are still of value to you out of the tradition that you came from. I've traveled around, been a dilettante, and I've gone through many faiths. That we respect all faith paths and include people from all different persuasions, and we cannot possibly all agree. I think that it would be of value for us to find the things that we can cherish and then use this principle. Years ago, actually, when to you, take what is there of value to you and leave the rest behind. So,
we ring the gong 3 times. Once for those who made a place and came before us. Once for those of us who are here. And once for those who will follow us and build on the dream. Our chalice lighting this morning is called The Spirit of Water. It's by Katie Gelfand. We light this chalice as a symbol of reunion. we reunite in this sanctuary to share the flow of our hearts with one another. We gather together in ritual to celebrate our fountains of joy, to hold each other through storms of grief, to guide one another through rapids of transformation, to rest together on ponds of stillness. Together, we honor the spirit of water, its many forms, and its life-giving essence. Please join with me as we speak the words of the Unison Covenant together. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. This is our covenant.
Good morning. My name is Lorna Lane, and I have been a member of this fellowship for over 16 years. We're doing something a little different because I owe you all a heartfelt apology. In June, I led a service and made an error in judgment. I ask for forgiveness for speaking words that were inappropriate from the pulpit. I took advantage of an opportunity to speak my mind with less thought about the outcome of my words. The message was how I felt about how and where we are and our direction and plan moving forward. While I understand that my words came across as very angry and a bit accusatory, they were actually from a place of fear and love. It is very difficult for me to be vulnerable because I haven't felt supported in past relationships where I thought it was an automatic aspect of the type of relationship. I want everyone to feel like this place feels like home and to have a chance to have some input as to where we are going. Transparency regarding plans and what needs to be done to reach those goals is also important. I want our fellowship to be the kind of place where a diverse and vast amount of people would feel seen, heard, and felt like they belong, and decide that we measure up to what they are looking for in a spiritual home. There have been a very select few of you of this beloved congregation that stepped up when I needed help the most. For you, I am forever thankful and in your debt and cannot possibly express enough gratitude for your assistance. I wish that providing for my own existence didn't mean that I have to be away from all of you as much as I am. There are so many things I wish that were different. I think we all feel that way for so many reasons. Please know that while you may not see me as often as we all might like, I am still very much a part of this fellowship, and I don't plan on stepping away. Someday I will be able to be more involved and hope to give more input to our future plans. I am often available a few days throughout the week to meet up for coffee, tea, lunch, or even dinner, if you like.
Thank you, Lorna. Our offering this morning is the loose plate offering will be shared with the Elkhart County Humane Society, which we also took up an offering 2 weeks ago and collected $168 to share. And as we begin the offering, I'm going to ask you to think about the meaning of generosity. I liked your music. I liked your music. Let's sing together hymn number 108. My life flows on in endless song. My life flows on in endless song, above earth's lamentation. I hear the real, though far off hymn, that hails a new creation. Through all the atonement and the strife, I hear the music ringing. It sounds an echo in my soul. How can I keep from singing? What though the tempest round me roars? I know the truth, it liveth. What though the darkness round me close? Songs in the night it giveth. No storm can shake my inmost calm, while to that rock I'm clinging. Since love prevails in heaven and earth, how can I keep from singing? When tyrants tremble as they hear the bells of freedom ringing, when friends rejoice both far and near, how can I keep from singing? To prison cell and dungeon file, our thoughts to them are ringing.
American playwright Rajiv Joseph said, "All water is holy. Even if it is not water we can consume, I believe this statement to be true. Our planet would not be what it is without the fresh and salt waters that cover the majority of the surface of this rock floating through space that we call home. Every living thing on the planet would not exist without water. Everything we know and understand about all life on this planet would not be possible without water. Lucy Larcom, an American author, poet, and teacher, said, "A drop of water, if it could write out its own history, would explain the universe to us. What a lesson that would be." In our past, this particular service has been a great way for us to come back together after long months or weeks apart, while we were able to enjoy some travels, business trips, and just being in the great outdoors in the warmer weather. It is our tradition to collect water from those places, just an ounce or two, and bring it back home with us to remember those travels and experiences. This ritual shares the joy we've felt in being able to do those things, see those places, and create memories with loved ones that were able to join us along the way. It is an important tradition to keep alive, but it is also important to remember that water stands for more than just where we have been and what we have been blessed to experience. It is also vital for life. And while we all wish to hear about those travels, those experiences, and hopefully joy-filled memories that were created, I would like us to focus on the vitality of the substance we are honoring with this tradition. And please save the memory sharing for after the service during our coffee hour. Water regulates the Earth's temperature. It also regulates the temperature of the human body, carries nutrients and oxygen to cells, cushions joints, protects organs and tissues, and removes waste. According to facts.net, 75% of the human brain is water, and 75% of a living tree is water. Approximately 6,800 gallons of water are required to grow a day's worth of food for a family of 4, according to steamtricks.com. I think sometimes we forget about how much water it actually takes to grow food, raise livestock, and grow grains that we feed the livestock. That doesn't even begin to cover the amount of water it takes to process all of those things into consumable goods that we as humans can eat. The grains that we feed the livestock have their own processing, and then the raising and processing of the livestock also require water. Withdrawals, up to 90% in some fast-growing economies. I am sure that percentage has gone up as our economies have become global, and with the import-export of foods around the world, it is no wonder. Global economies create global markets, and supply and demand increase. It takes about 12 gallons of water per day to sustain a human. This figure considers all uses of water, like drinking, sanitation, and food production. Speaking of the consumption of actual water, 90% of the cost of bottled water is in the bottle itself. And in the United States, people believe that bottled water is cleaner than tap water. Given how convenient it is to purchase a bottle instead of refilling a reusable one, is it any wonder why more people believe that bottled water is better than tap? Now, if only we could figure out how to clean up our municipalities' water treatment and delivery systems so that we would recognize that our tap water is just as good, if not better, than bottled. Places like Jackson, Mississippi, New York City, West Baltimore, and even Hawaii are experiencing alarming drinking water-related issues just in this year, according to scientificamerican.com. Issues involving long-term boiled water advisories, arsenic in the tap water, potential sewage or runoff related to E. coli bacteria, and a lawsuit alleging neurological issues linked to thousands of liters of jet fuel that leaked into the drinking water. Even in the aftermath of the Flint, Michigan drinking water contamination in 2014, our municipal infrastructures are in crisis. A story from NPR on October 29, 2014, highlighted just a handful of these issues. Investing in our infrastructure would benefit more people in more places, allowing for better health of the general population. Refilling a half-liter water bottle 1,740 times with tap water is the equivalent of a 99-cent water bottle at a convenience store, according to seamtricks.com. 1/3 of what the world spends on bottled water could pay for projects to provide water to everyone in need. We could stop making large corporations rich off of the water. Speaking of those companies, Pepsi, Coca-Cola, and Nestle are the world's largest bottled water companies. According to seamtricks.com, the average cost of water supplied to a home in the United States is $2 for 1,000 gallons, which equals about 5 gallons per penny. We are truly blessed and spoiled and entitled in our great nation. 1 in 6 gallons of water leaks from utility pipes before reaching customers in the United States. Household leaks can waste more than 1 trillion gallons annually nationwide. That's equal to the annual household use of over 11 million homes. 10% of homes have leaks that waste 90 gallons or more per day. Looking into our local municipality rates is a bit confusing, and you have to have vital information about the size of your home's water meter to get a ballpark idea of what your average monthly bill might be. Then, of course, there are the added charges for fire hydrants that we are all thankful to have access to in case of emergency. Seamtricks.com also states that Americans use 5.7 billion gallons of water per day from flushing toilets. If everyone in the United States flushed their toilets 1 less time per day, we could save a lake full of water about 1 mile wide, 1 mile long, and 4 feet deep. If everyone in the United States used 1 gallon less per shower every day, we could save some 85 billion gallons of water per year. A 20-minute shower using a standard shower head will use approximately 50 gallons of water. Speaking of bathing, it takes on average 70 gallons of water to fill the average bathtub. These statements are enough to possibly push us all to invest in water-saving fixtures and appliances in our homes. While updating fixtures and appliances aren't always in the budget at the beginning of a new place we call home, it has long-term benefits that will save not just some funds in the future, but also some of our most important resource. According to facts.net, more than 50% of illnesses are due to poor water and sanitation and waterborne illnesses, and are spread by drinking contaminated water. 80% of all illnesses in the developing world are water-related. Unsafe water kills 200 children every hour. 3/4 of Americans live within 10 miles of polluted water. Water pollution occurs when chemical substances contaminate the water. I think I'm done relating water facts. Some of this information is scary, but it's important for us to know. Rumi once said, "When you do things from your soul, you feel a river moving in you, a joy. I don't know if each of our rivers always moves in joy when we do things from our souls, but I do know that at least those actions are real, honest, and usually felt very deeply. I do know that water and emotions are often described together. Water is said to be the creator, healer, destroyer, and final consumer. The one constant that nothing would ever be the same without. For our understanding of our human experiences, I think I would say the same for emotions. Our emotions and how we express them can be a catalyst for creating, healing, destroying, and even consuming. Martin Baxbaum once said, "I have seen the sea when it is storm and wild, when it is quiet and serene, when it is dark and moody, and in all these moods, I see myself." Times in life have been difficult and challenging for many in the last few years and have made many of us feel as if we are stuck between a rock and a hard place. This quote by Crystal Middlemass, of whom there is little information, says, "Love, like a river, will cut a new path whenever it meets a new obstacle." This reminds me that only from a place of unconditional love can change happen for the benefit of all. For there to be love, there must be understanding. For there to be understanding, there must be people willing to actively listen to what others are really saying. We must find the common ground and hear others' stories to understand where their position is based. Many of us still tend to operate from an emotional place, even when our logical functions know and comprehend that that isn't the best way to be in community with others. And sometimes speaking the truth about the emotional base is scary, and we do not like feeling that vulnerable, even if we are surrounded by people who do their best to actively listen to us, find the common ground, and hear what we are really saying. May we each find our best practices in reaction to how we use this precious resource. May we do so from our souls so that our emotional rivers may run with joy from our working and honoring this life-giving resource.
Adequately communicate with Lorna, I think, and I'd raise this up, but maybe I'll just lean down. I didn't adequately communicate with Lorna well enough that we're going to share our water ingathering in the service as we always have, rather than in the coffee hour, because we also have another activity going on in the coffee hour, which is the community fair or committee fair. So I've asked you, I think I tried to publicize in weekly emails and on the website that we were going to do a sharing today. The sharing is really bringing water that is meaningful to you. It doesn't have to be water that you collected on a trip, but if you did, as I know Jackie has, feel free to share it. But come up and share water and its valuable meaning to you. And if you didn't bring water, we've got some here, and we'll use it for our future holy traditions. And I didn't thaw the water that's presently in the freezer, so we're going to start from scratch here so we don't have a block of ice sitting in front of us. And I'm going to start by putting a little water in, which came from far away, the tap out here in the kitchen. But I'm also going to share that Sam and Christine's daughter, who's in the fan club, gave me this beautiful shell this morning. Brooklyn gave me the shell, which obviously has come from somewhere far away, and she's painted it with glitter, so it's absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to add that. But let's form lines on each side and come up and do our water sharing.
Enough for everybody else, I don't know. Chuck, your water came from the kitchen, mine came from South Bend. However, it is, when you mentioned the water service this morning, it reminded me of going to Longwood Gardens in Pennsylvania, which is an amazing botanical garden. They had an illuminated water performance, and it looked like fireworks, but it was all water in all different colors, and it was beautiful. And the most beautiful part of it was we shared it with my brother and his wife, and he is 6 years older than I am, so he's an old person, a really old person, and I don't get to see him very often, and may not see him very many more times. So it was lovely, and the water is something that we shared, is that performance.
I'm going to sneak in here because I promised Mike Darnell that I would put this water in for him from Cobus Creek and from Lawless Park.
This water is from Helen's home in Elkhart. This water is from her new home at Elkhart Place, also in Elkhart. This water was collected a year ago. As well as water from an old sugarcane plantation, the irrigation canals. This is from the island of Kauai. And I just want to say, so many of us are drawn to the beauty of water, whether it's water that you can drink from like a spring, or water that you can look out and see the waves coming. But water is, of course, important for all life, but water brings beauty as well.
This water in our country, in our city. We live on a small lake. Some people call it a pond, but it's a lake. And a friend of mine was over the other day and looking out at it and said, "Do you ever just take it for granted and never look at it?" And I said, "Oh, no. We look at it all the time." And it made me think about how we need to pay attention to all that's beautiful and all those we love and never take them for granted. Kind of like the folks here.
My water is from our hose at home, and it reminds me of all of the flowers and the grass that get watered by sprinklers and hoses to keep our summers beautiful here in Elkhart.
I have water from the Southwest. I have water from England and most of Europe right now. Here's water from Pakistan. We can't live without water, and water can be too much.
I have water from Alaska, Crow Creek Mine, from the waterfalls, just going from Girdwood to Alaska. Sorry, I'm nervous in front of people. And from Alaska Wildlife Conservation Center, and a little bit from South Haven. I was there yesterday.
Hi, I'm Mary, and this is my Vermont bottle. The water is from my kitchen faucet because the 2 trips I took this year, they don't allow you to bring water on airplanes. So this is from Southern Colorado, where I watched one of my granddaughters get married, and this is from Denver area, where I've been several times this year. And this is from beautiful Maui. My son took me there for a week's vacation, and it was the most wonderful, relaxing vacation I've ever had.
This water did not come from where I'm going to tell you either, because it represents the water from the 16 states that Jim and I visited earlier this year, as well as Mexico. Couldn't bring it from everywhere. And the wonderful thing about that trip is not, there was plenty of wonderful scenery, but it wasn't about sightseeing. It was about reconnecting and visiting family and friends. So the entire way was visit until we came back across the northern part. It was a wonderful, enriching experience.
Well, water is truly magical, and we have a pond that we just absolutely love, and I'll show you pictures afterwards, but if you really want to see where our magic happens at our pond, is you need to come over. And you need to invite yourself to see our beautiful pond and to sit and contemplate and look at the magic of water, and how the wildlife habitat has literally, it's become a central hub for animal activity in the neighborhood. And possums in our house. But water is truly magical because it helps bourbon. When you mix water with bourbon, it activates the molecules. And I love that part of it. But I'm also here to give you a municipal water story. I work for the city of Elkhart as a city councilman, and I'm proud to say that Elkhart, the water in the city of Elkhart, is some of the best in the nation. We win water awards consistently across the Midwest and sometimes national. And in the Elkhart and St. Joseph water flows are the largest in the state at 1,200 gallons per minute free flowing without pumping. It comes out of our aquifers, moving at 1,200 gallons a minute. That's magical, folks. And we are one of the lowest fluoride users for treatment in the country. That means we don't have to use very much chemical to make our water a quality product that we deliver to you. So I'm very, very, very proud of that. But more importantly, I'm very proud of the pond that you all have to come see. I'll be disappointed if I don't get to show it off. Peace. Bourbon. Bourbon.
All right, now this is just symbolic water. I had a recent knee replacement, and my goal was to get to Potawatomi Zoo to see the giraffes. And I got there last week.
This is a water that Judy Darnell shared with me this morning, and she thought it would be good to represent the water that all of us, family and friends, enjoy together. And I'm going to use it to represent Lake Erie water, We were supposed to have a weekend with my daughter and son and their spouses on Lake Erie. And at the last minute, Gordon and I decided, well, maybe we better not take the weekend. So our son and daughter and spouses enjoyed Lake Erie, and we missed it, but we were there in spirit anyway. Hey, that doesn't want to come out. Oh, it has a salt shaker top. There we go.
Hello. My name is Rich. That is my partner, Karen. The facts I'm about to relate are true. The water is virtual. And actually, not from a tap, but from our dehumidifiers in our house. So this is the water from the air in our environment. We've done a bit of traveling the last few years since we've been here. We've been to the Mississippi River up in Minneapolis. In fact, on Amtrak on the way back, saw a bald eagle flying parallel the train at window height about 50 yards off over the Mississippi. We've been to the Milwaukee River in Milwaukee, Potomac River in DC. We've done quite a bit of travels. Some of this water is from my new job. Since I've seen you all last, I've retired from state work. My new job has me working along roadsides a lot, which are often ditches filled with water. This last water is from waking up in ICU at Goshen Hospital after my heart attack.
Well, my water's in the car. and it's in a water bottle, and I refill it until I lose it or whatever. But I live just outside the city, and I have a well, and I have as good a water as I think I've ever tasted. And I'm lucky and fortunate, and it doesn't have any rust in it. Now, it has quite a bit of lime in it, but you won't see any rust on my house from the water. And I'm fortunate for that. Now, a few years ago, I know the water out at Simonton Lake, it tasted and smelled pretty awful, and I think they probably didn't have a deep enough well. But anyway, we are very fortunate, as Dwight said. We have a huge aquifer that flows under our city and the whole county, and we are blessed with water. My daughter lives in California, and when you go there, you don't flush the toilet every time you go. That bothers me, but especially the one kind. But anyway, but I've kind of had a little habit at home of not doing that, even though I have a low flow toilet. I got a toilet that I recently bought to replace my low one that I couldn't get off of anymore. And it's a higher one, but it has two buttons on the top. The one is for number one, the other is for number two. So it does save some water, but I just want to let you know that whether we have a well or city water here, we're very blessed.
My water from home, my water bottle, but I'm not going to put that in here. Seems a little rude since we're keeping it. Since I had moved, I need glasses. Yes. Probably too strong. Back in March, I had moved. Since I had gotten a Fit watch, as of December 26, I was 318 pounds. When I moved, as of March 10th, I was 310. And as of last week, 286. And part of that weight loss is having room to actually exercise in my new home. with less stress, better diet, which I wouldn't have found without Lorna Lane. But I had acquired it on my own. And with the water and diet, I would probably be 250 pounds within a year. And it's been 20 years that I've been at 42 that I am now wearing.
For the first time, I actually brought water to the water community. I have a well similar to Ray's because I live just 2 doors down, and it's wonderful water. I enjoy drinking it, and I enjoy living on the river, which I think is very polluted. I wouldn't go swimming in it because I think I might get an infection. I've been advised not to swim in it. So I wish we could clean up the river, but the drinking water is wonderful, and I appreciate having my own well and having wonderful water. I want to mention today, my dad was born on 9/11, the year 1911. So
I'm Georgianne, and I didn't bring any water, but I was going to get some water out of the faucet here, so I'm glad this is here, because I just wanted to say this is my favorite place. You guys are my favorite people, and I don't get to come very often because I don't have a car. So when I do, and now especially today because I get to play euchre, I just get really excited. Is by Eric Williams. May the firmness of the earth be yours. May the flow of the water be yours. May the freedom of the air be yours. May the fierceness of the fire be yours. May all the gifts of this life, the below and the above,
be with you now, remain with you always. Go in peace.